Let's go. Okay, welcome back. This is Mark Mack being me. I think it's podcast 12. And today we're joined with a special guest, Sara, who is actually my wife Janina's business coach. So
hello.
Welcome. How are you?
Thank you. Thank you to invite me here today. So my name is Sara and hello everyone. And I'm feeling really great and excited for this episode. Let's see where we're going.
Yeah. Let's see. Hey, I wanted to start as well, Sara, with just, I guess, expressing my gratitude for you, because I know like you've actually been a big part of our life in terms of that community support that you've given for Janina, because as you know, like starting your own business, it's quite daunting, quite scary, you don't know what to do, but also being from somewhere from another country, the same as you, so you can relate as well. So Janina's from Germany, and her coming here, like all her friends and family are over in Germany. So when she first came here, there was there was a couple of years there where it was very, very hard, because obviously all her friends are back home, you know, and there'd be days where she'd just be crying, and I didn't really know what to do. There was nothing really that I could do. I could just support her. But the actual gift that you have in the community that you have, all the girls, and that support actually does mean a lot to me. So I'm very grateful to have this conversation, wherever this conversation is going to go.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. And you say something that it's like the real reason why I'm doing what I'm doing. Like for who is listening and doesn't know who am I'm a business coach. My name is Sara, and we have this amazing community that is called the Entrepreneur Female Academy. And I think that that's really the strong point of difference for us, the fact that we have this beautiful community for women that are building their business abroad, like Janina, like myself. It's not easy because you don't have family support, you don't have anybody here to talk about your struggle, and you have to deal with your life, like your personal life, your personal struggle, plus the business. Which is pretty tough. Let me tell you, it's pretty tough. And so my vision was helping women to also have a space where they can come and share. Today, it's not a great day. Like it's not at all a great day. My kids are crying and I have to do my laundry. My mom, she's not here. I don't know what to do with all of this. And plus I have to message people. I have to do my content, you know, and like keep up with my business. And my vision was, this is missing, like something is missing. What can I do to just not support my client with business, but also emotionally, like give it to them some support, even in their personal life, because building a business abroad is definitely more challenging for sure.
Yeah, I love that. Hey, and I think we'll touch on that with the mindset, because that's a huge part of all that I am, and I'm sure a huge part of your content as well. So without that mindset, then you're really just going to be reacting on these subconscious programs and in fear or lack or whatever's coming out. So I feel we'll bring up that, but I reckon it'd be cool just to start with, I guess, your journey in a way of like, how did you find yourself to be where you are now? Like, what was the big shift for you?
Big question. That's a very big question. Okay, so like I say all the time, even in my content and with my clients all the time, it is possible to change. That's something that I think a human being doesn't realize enough. So if you are in a certain way today, it doesn't mean that you will be like that forever. And so many times I hear this, no, I can't change. You know, this is me and I cannot change, Sara. I will always be insecure. I will always be in fear, and never I will change my reality, my life, and my mindset. And that's not true. You can change. So we have tools, like there is so many material online that you can find. We have tools and we can change. And this was my experience. I wasn't completely different 7 years ago. I was negative all the time. I didn't believe in myself. I was always had this scarcity like mindset, you know, when you say, oh, you know, my life is going to go wrong forever. I am not lucky, or I am born poor, you know, all of those. If I'm thinking about this right now, it's disgusting, because it's not true. It's not true. And I realized in a very difficult moment of my life, which was the most dark place where I have been in my life, I realized that we have a choice. You can choose the Sara today to go in this direction, which will be not feeling good enough, not believing in yourself, not taking care of your body, of your life, or you can choose a different path. And I had truly a wake-up call, and I asked myself, Sara, this is what you want. Like, this is really who you want to be? This particular person, or do you want to do something about it? And then I decided that enough was enough. Truly was, you know, when you stop smoking, like you smoke cigarette and you arrive one day that you just don't smoke anymore. You just say, that's it, enough. I don't want to see them anymore. And you stop smoking. That's exactly what was the same for me. I arrived at the point that it was too much. I was really tired of being myself. Like, I don't want to be this person anymore. Let me find a solution. Let me find something else. And I started the journey of healing, like so many of us did. And obviously, I started with different tools like no coaching, but like therapy, and start eating healthy, exercise. So I started from the mind, the body, the soul, all of those tools. And then I arrive at feeling better and be positive and find positivity and gratitude in everything in my life. And I say, okay, I want to help people now to do the same, because I know that I did it, so someone else can do it. And how many other women out there are feeling like I feel? So many. So I started asking questions around and see that actually so many women were feeling like I was feeling before. And that's where I decided to become a coach, and the academy born after that. So yeah, that's how we started.
I love this. So much coming up. That's how I feel as well. What I went through was like that whole experience of like, I've had enough, like, you know, something has to change, and it's me. You know, it's no longer these outside circumstances that are dictating my experience. It's actually stopping what you're doing and realizing that you are in control, you know, and you can write your own story. So for me, it was during COVID. Was that a big moment for you as well, Sara?
Yes,
Yeah.
It was for me, because for the first time I was at home, like you, like so many people, not working. And then I felt, what I am doing here, I'm just wasting my life. Like I'm doing a job that I don't like it. I don't feel fulfilled. What I am doing here, that was another wake-up call for me as well.
Yeah. For me, it was COVID, and then the whole world stopped. I couldn't work anymore. And then I had this feeling inside of me, like I want to go this way. And it was the first time I really stopped and listened to that feeling inside of myself. Yeah. Because so long I've been conditioned, obviously we all have, through our parents, our environments, society, you know, all these expectations. And it just develops this this mindset, or this self-belief that this is who I am and this is what I do.
Yeah.
And it's not until you actually separate from that and you take a bit of space and you realize, actually, like, I want to go this way, or this is where I'm feeling being pulled, you know, my heart is calling me, or intuition, God's voice, whatever you want to call it. It's guidance, and it's always here, but you need that space to be able to separate from it. But sometimes it takes like a lot of pain for you to realize it, to awaken to that suffering. Hey,
you say something that I really love. It takes a lot of pain to realize. And that's the problem, why I feel, even in my own experience, sometimes I still have things to change, because this journey, and you probably feel the same, it never ends. The moment that you start healing and changing yourself, you realize that you have so much work to do, that it's never gonna end. But there is time that I see even with clients, and so many times they are not changing because it's painful. And I always say to them, this is gonna be painful, because you are leaving behind who you were before, that it's like, I don't know, it's a story that you told yourself that you are like that, and it feels safe to be like that. It feels safe, for example, to don't show up online, which is a big problem. I feel afraid to be myself online. I feel afraid to do a video today, and you're repeating the story to yourself constantly, because that it's safe. That's the only version that you know. And you know that if you don't show up or you don't do that for yourself, nothing bad is going to happen. But if you do, you don't know. You know, because you never done it. And change is it's really something that it's painful. it's truly, I think painful is the right word, because it is. Even when you want exercise and you never maybe exercised before, or you are not consistent, how painful it is. Start exercising. Oh, it's so painful, so painful, because you don't want to do it. Or eating healthy and changing your diet. That is also painful, because you are maybe used to junk food, easy food, takeaway. It's painful to start cooking your own food. But that's where the transformation happened, through the pain. And yeah, people doesn't want to feel the pain, Mark.
I know. Hey, I love this. They want the comfort of the known. And that's what I've come to realize is the mind, right? The conditioned mind, it just craves comfort. And exactly that. It craves whatever you're experiencing, and it wants to keep you in the limitations in this box of whatever that is. But the unknown, which is the scary part, which is also unlimited possibilities. It's what your soul sings for. That's what you keep stepping into, the unknown. More and more things just happen. It's like the universe just keeps providing more and more opportunities. But also it's that flip side of, if you want greatness, be prepared for great obstacles along the way. Isn't that right?
That's so beautiful. And I think that even in my own experience, I am an high achiever. I pretend sometimes a lot from myself. And I know that there is so many people out there, they are like me, like they really want to achieve things and pretend too much sometimes from themselves. But we have to accept that if you want to arrive somewhere else, whatever is the goal that you have, it doesn't matter. And it's maybe something that require you to become a different person. So you cannot just ask the universe, I just want to have that, and not doing the work for it and pretending that the journey will be easy. Obviously, when you ask this to the universe, all the challenge arrive. It's incredible, isn't it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Has it happened to you?
1,000%.
Always to me, like every time that I'm journaling, like a lot. I'm also very spiritual, and I journal, I pick cards, and I use essential oil. So I love those things to connect with myself. And every time that I'm writing, I want expansion, I want to grow, I want this. Boom. After a couple of days, something always happens. And I feel, look, we are going in the right direction. There is obstacle in my way. It means that this is the right path. That's how I shifted this around for myself, to make sure that I feel that the obstacles are not something unfair, because this is what I used to believe. Oh, the universe is not fair to me, I am unlucky. No, the fact that you have obstacle, it means that you're going in the right direction.
Yeah, I love this. I love this. This reminds me of my experience through the Awakening program. There was like a year and a half becoming a coach, and all these thoughts about, can I do this? What can I teach them? All these thoughts, just getting past these limiting beliefs. But then also falling into this experience of the very spiritual side of, yes, everything is a reflection of my internal experience. Everything will come to me naturally, and I don't move. I just expect it. And then, but there's a part of being a human being, which is the human part, which is doing as well, I feel.
Absolutely. I love this so much. I love this so much, because it's true that universe always have, I believe in that, like truly that universe always have plan for us, like, better plans, like we used to say, like things are not going in the way that you want because the universe have better plans for you. I truly believe in that, but I also believe that we are in control, because I love to perceive my life like I am in control. I can change this reality. I don't like this relationship, I can leave. I don't like this job anymore, I can leave. But if I just let the universe decide everything for me, I'm passive in my life, and I don't want to be like that. I just want to be proactive. I want to make sure that I'm in charge of my destiny. Like, this is what I want, and I'm doing my best to arrive there. Maybe the universe have a plan to get me there, which is different to the one that I want, because obviously I choose the easy one, right? I don't choose the hard one, and that's totally fine. And I'm okay with that. But I love to perceive my life in a way that I'm in charge of that. I can change something if I don't like it.
Yeah, I love that. Hey, it's like there's a bit of control in terms of the things that you can control, or like having an intention with where you're going, having goals and plans and things like that, but also freeing yourself from the attachment of the outcome of it, and just really falling in love with the process of it, I feel.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And that's something that is difficult for humans to accept. Very difficult. Sometimes it's difficult for me as well, still.
Every day.
Yeah, I think it's right, very, very normal to experience that. But also learning, I feel, to let go of the things that we cannot control.
Yeah.
And that's also a big one. I did an exercise like months ago that was really painful. Like taking my notes every single day and just writing down every time that I was thinking about things that I cannot control. You will be impressed that I fill up like 2 pages of things that I was thinking constantly during the day that I cannot control. Yeah. So pretty much I'm wasting my time. I'm just wasting my time because I can't control those things. So I'm keep thinking about them, but I'm not in control. So let's shift that. And I was writing in the notes, okay, what can I control about this? And let's focus on that instead and use my energy for that.
I love that. It's what can you do? What can you do in this moment? You know, that's what I always come back to as well. And sometimes there's nothing you can do. And it's always the expectation of a future moment or the anxiousness of a future moment, or you're regretting something in the past that's making you feel a certain way and it's taking you out of this present moment.
Yes. And I feel that business, especially like so many entrepreneurs, like they don't put themselves out there, for example, right? Because they are afraid. Okay. But like I always say, come back to this control exercise. Can you control how many people will listen to your podcast? No, you don't. No. Can you control how many people will like your post or how many people will buy from you? You can't control those things. Like it's difficult. Like if you're focusing on that, you're just wasting your time focusing on what is the message that you have to send out there today. And there is always someone that will listen.
Oh, always. There's something that was so powerful that I read on your post. I think I've got it here. It was in regards to posting, and there's some questions that you ask yourself. I think it's like, is my content original? Avoiding any unintentional copying of others, and then am I genuinely excited about what I'm creating? Do I have the right energy to carry me through this process? Is there an element of fun, making it feel like it's less work and more enjoyable? How do I want my audience to feel this week? And is my content relevant to my ideal client's interest and needs? I feel what it is for me, it's like an intention, you know, like you're setting an intention, you're so clear about it, because when you're clear about your intention, you'd be surprised what happens. And don't limit to yourself to what you can perceive, because there's so much more in store for you as you just start to become more clearer with your intention and your direction that you're going in, I feel.
Absolutely. And thank you for reminding those questions, because I do this all the time, every single week. Like I don't start creating anything if I haven't complete those questions first, because for me often, and I know that this happens so many times, especially for women, we compare with other people and then we start creating content like other people. Because we think, oh, you know, they're doing that, they are successful. I should do the same. No, actually you need to do the opposite. You need to be yourself. And if I'm not excited about my podcast episode, I don't do it. I have weeks where sometimes we don't post a podcast because I'm not inspired. I have nothing to say. So if I don't have nothing to say, I'm not doing it, because what is the point to post something and record an entire episode, which is a lot of work and energy, if I don't have like inspiration, if I don't feel that that's original or is something that it can make a difference in someone else's life. Instead, I choose to don't do it. And there is nothing wrong with that. Nothing bad is going to happen. It's fine to post sometimes. It's okay. It's totally cool.
It's actually so powerful what you're touching on. It's so powerful because all of us get lost in social media and comparing ourselves to others and having an expectation, oh, this is how it is, so I've got to do it this way. But the reality is people feel you for your truth and how your energy is being transmitted. So they can feel when you're actually, and it's obvious because the algorithms don't like, because the algorithm is you. So if you're not getting likes or views or comments, it's not the algorithm Instagram. It's a reflection of who are you being. Are you trying to present something for somebody, for them to, perceive you a certain way, like putting on a mask? That's what I found. That's why this podcast is called Being Me, because the more that you open yourself up and express yourself fully, the more people will resonate with that truth of you just being yourself.
You really spot on. Like, I believe like 100% in what you say, because that's the only way. Also, this is what I believe. Obviously, not everybody will be agree with me, but it's the only way to stay in business, for example. Because if you're not yourself, for how long can you keep up? For how long can you wear that mask? Because it's really stressful to show up when you are not yourself, like try to be someone else, or I don't know, moving like I move my hands a lot, right? And I don't care. Like, this is me. And if someone say, oh, because someone told me this, you shouldn't move too much your hand when you're speaking. Well, I don't care. This is me. This is how I express myself. And the more I do that, the more I can send the right message out there. And there is people that already like the way that I am, like your wife, Janina, she loves this. That's why she's with me. I know there is more people like that. And this is the people that I'm talking with. I'm not talking with the one that say, no, you should be like that. You should be like that. And, that's not my people, obviously. But if you are not ourselves, I don't know, I find that this is not worth it to do in this journey, for my personal opinion.
Yeah, if it's true, it will work. That's what I hear. If it's true, it'll work. And for me, it's like, well, the opinions of others are just their own thoughts, and that could stop you from actually taking action if you believe that, if your mindset is not at a place where you realize that it doesn't matter what anyone thinks. And a lot of the time, they're not actually thinking about you. It's just you're in a thought about what are they thinking. So it doesn't matter. And it's like, you can have 3 different people if you're going to launch a business. One person you can ask for advice and they could say, oh, don't do it. No, you need a safe job. You need a 9 to 5. You need to make sure that money's coming in. Another person could say, oh, yeah, you should do it, but you should do a lot of research first. Maybe wait 6 months, just hold back. And then the third person's like, yeah, go for it. You're going to fail. You're going to have a great time. You're going to learn so much. You're going to trip over, but you're going to work it out. That's three different people, and they're just sharing their own experience as a thought, but it's you having that. I feel that's the first thing we should talk about, is the mindset of having that realization that everyone else is just projecting their own experience onto you.
That this is really beautiful, Mark, that you shared that, because I feel that this is something that people are not still aware of it. Like, there is not enough awareness. And I'm happy that you shared that, because I'm a projector in human design. And it's important to know that, like, people projecting their stuff on you all the time. And we have to be careful. Like, if someone say to you, no, you shouldn't do that. Like, you shouldn't start your business. You should keep your 9 to 5 job, which is a very common advice and beliefs. You should really come back to yourself, like meditate, like sit down in stillness and ask yourself, okay, what do I want and what do I believe? So I have a jar, a normal jar, like a gem jar. I think Janina, she's also having that.
Oh, yeah.
And I've written down all my new beliefs and evidence that I have in my life that my beliefs are true and valid, like the other beliefs of other people. And every time that I doubt myself, I just open the jar and reading all the beliefs again.
I love that.
And have evidence again, because even for myself, when I started to build my business and wanting to be authentic, like I want to be authentic and also build my business and also rest and have days off.
Yeah.
Of course, it was difficult because you have the pressure of the society that you should work every day if you are an entrepreneur or you are not succeeding. So I'm creating evidence to prove to myself that even if I'm resting, everything is okay. Like, my business is still there. I can still make money. I can still be successful. Clients are not disappearing. Like, they're still there. They didn't even notice that I took a day off. You know what I mean? Like, those little beliefs that we have, and creating evidence, because your brain will not believe in that if you don't create evidence for it.
Oh, I love this. This is going places. I'll share my experience, like even for my morning routine. So, I go through, now I do breath work and stillness and meditation, but there's also something I do with affirmations. And straight after it, I have, there's these 4 questions that I asked some people that I used to coach in the awakening program. And and like there's 7 different people that I asked, and I have 7 different answers, and I look at that each morning as I'm, you know, starting my day, and that is just reaffirming actually, oh, like I do actually have all these things, like positive values that I bring to the world, to humanity. It's like, yes, I do hold space, I'm very attentive, I listen, you know, it's all written down, but it's like a reaffirming, because for me, for my conditioning and programming, I didn't have that belief, that self-belief. Like I would always just do what everyone else was doing, you know, for the longest time, until I had that awakening and realizing like, no, I want to go this way. Right. So now it's like, you're going to have to deprogram all of that bullshit.
You absolutely. And it's something that we have to do daily. Like I still do all of this after 7 years on working on myself, because there is moment that I'm coming back to be who I was. I don't know, have it happened to you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. And in those moments, I know that it's totally normal. I have clients that, even Janina, that sometimes say, Sara, I'm having the same pattern. It's totally normal to have again the same pattern, because we may have doing them for a long time. So it's something that, I don't know if you have heard about this, but this is something that I truly believe, not trying to eliminate those beliefs. It's a wasting of time, because we will never eliminate them completely, because they are too strong. Like we grow up with them. So what I try to do for myself, and I teach my client to do the same, is create new evidence, new beliefs, and build again those ones that are yours, and try to solidify them, but don't eliminate the other one, because it's going to be very difficult.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. For me, I would relate it to whenever you're trying, it's an energy of not having. So if you're trying to quit smoking, I'm sure you know that, like the more you try, the more you just find yourself like puffing off a cigarette, like, fuck, I just gotta stop this. I gotta stop this, because you're just resisting the moment as it's happening. So I like that, building more positive habits, and actually just reaffirming that with yourself, like realizing this is my gifts. So I feel this is so important to talk about. And then if you're moving into like your own business, right? So before all of that, you have to have the mindset. You have to realize that all these limiting beliefs that would stop you from actually posting, taking action in your day-to-day, because you must be talking to ladies about this all the time.
And that's a beautiful question, because I truly believe, like I know that the success of an entrepreneur, especially when they're starting out, which is very overwhelming, and I get it, like we all have been there. It's very overwhelming when you start, you know, I have idea what you're doing and what to do things and how to do things. But the biggest challenge in the beginning, it will be yourself. It truly will be like fighting with the old version of you, building the new one, and facing all the limiting beliefs that you have, the fears that you have of putting yourself out there, which is something that I acknowledge entrepreneur so much, because we putting ourselves out there every single day. And this is not easy to do, because doing a podcast like you do, you know, speaking in front of other people that will listen to this, it's not easy. Sharing your story or doing content, because selling also, it's something that causes a lot of fear, a lot of fear, I would say, but also fear of rejection. Like, what if people will not buy anything for me? Or what if my offer is not good enough and nobody will show up? So it activates a lot of fear. So what I will say, if you're starting out, it's really be curious. Start to be curious about yourself. Don't be afraid of what you will find on the other side. And remember that there is tools like redefining your new beliefs, creating the one that you want to believe on it. Like, I don't believe in myself enough that people can buy from me, or that I can be successful in this business. Create a new one and start finding evidence. For example, where have you been successful already in your life? Because everybody has been successful somewhere already, and use those evidence to reinforce those beliefs, and slowly you will be able to keep going. But it's an ongoing work, this one, unfortunately. It never stops. It never stops. It never stops.
But that's the beauty of it. I feel like that's the best journey, is like the self-discovery, you know.
Yes.
And it's like a self-inquiry, and you just, the more and more you start to get into this, you start to become aware of how you're reacting in every moment, you know, and like how you're responding and feeling when all of a sudden you're feeling anxious or frustrated, and I start to become interested with it, even if maybe in the moment, I'm in the heat of the moment, I'm feeling it. I'm not interested, but like afterwards, and I have that realization, oh, that's interesting that that person said that, and it made you feel a certain way, because it's so powerful to dive into yourself.
And also something that I ask myself every time, what if I'm not doing this? Like, okay, I choose to don't do it. I choose to don't start my business and to do what it really lights me up. What is the alternative? Like, I'm remaining here. I will not grow because I'm staying in my 9-to-5 job, for example, which is safe for me because obviously it's something that I always have done. And what if I regret this in 2 years? Like, I don't want to have regrets. I'm trying everything to make sure that I'm living my life to the fullest. And we call it the hero journey at the academy, because which is a kind of hero journey, this one we are in. We have so many, roadblocks along the way. And the more you going into this hero journey, the more you're becoming yourself. Because if you remain in your 9-to-5 job, for example, which is something that you don't want to do, obviously, because you will not even think about entrepreneurship, otherwise, it means that there is your growth, your expansion as a human being. Like, make your business journey about this, becoming the best version of yourself. This is what I say all the time. Becoming the best version of yourself. Don't make this journey about making money and all of this. Otherwise, it's difficult, very difficult. And I'm not saying that money are not important. Obviously, they are.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, but it's like you can have all the money in the world, but if you don't have that internal peace, then all of that is irrelevant.
Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I love this. All right, Sarah. So we've got somebody who is keen to start their own business. They're pumped. They've got an idea of what they want to do. They've realized that the limiting beliefs. They're realizing more in themselves. Then, would you say the next thing would be to find like what excites them and what sort of direction they can go in terms of how they can serve? So you can ask maybe some people close to you, like I reckon ask a few questions that could maybe bring out, what are my attributes? What am I good at? What do you enjoy about me? And then and spending time by yourself, journaling and meditation, things like that, to really dive deep into what can you serve? How can you serve?
Absolutely that, like discovering yourself first, like exploring you, it will be like the first step to make sure that you build an aligned business. As you know, I'm super passionate about this, and it's really important to understand your strength. For example, what are you really good at? Like, what are the things that you can do every single day, even if you don't get paid for it? That will be first step. Obviously, that you're gonna ask for money, obviously, but find out what is the thing that you are really passionate about it. What are your strengths? What are you good at? And when you have that, you can build the business, your offer, or everything that you're gonna do based on that. And the first step also will be just give it a go. Like, don't procrastinate, because the more you procrastinate to have the perfect offer creation, I need to have everything perfect before no, you don't. Like, try to have a conversation with people, like understand what people need, because we assume what people need. And that's not always, in the majority of the case, it doesn't even work, because what you think people need usually is not what people really need. So I will say to research as well, like putting yourself out there. Doesn't matter if it's imperfect or if you don't really know what are you doing, just do it. Like, give it a go, and then start understanding what your market needs. And then you create something for those people, for those markets, and then you start from there. And then you do all the other stuff. But first, I will just focusing on those 3 things.
Yeah. And so then it'll lead you to your niche, hey? You'll find your niche from there.
Yes, absolutely. And what I believe about niche, the moment that you are yourself, you really show up authentically, you attract the ideal client.
Wow. Yeah. It's a reflection. Hey?
Yes. And we are at the academy, like my client know this, we never use the avatar word. Like no, I don't like it. So the niche, of course, you have to also figure out which one is profitable. Obviously. You have also to involve the profitability of your niche when you're doing your research, obviously. But the first step, the moment that you are yourself authentically, you will be surprised that all the clients that you attract they are not just profitable, like they want to pay you, but they are also your perfect client. So that's my version of niche.
Yeah, I love this. Yeah, that's what I'm relaying to my experience. The more I started to share my story and to share my truth, I found people from all ends of the world. Well, I actually didn't find them; they found me. They started coming to me. Like Jimmy, good friend of mine from Sweden. We had Robert from Finland. We had people from America, from other side of Australia, all just like connecting with me. And it's literally as I started to share my experience, share my truth. These are the things that helped me or that I've been through. Because you get out of your head, it's nothing to do with like, what can I say that will get your attention in terms of that? It's more just like, how can I express my experience? And as a byproduct, as you're focusing on that, your intention is here. As a byproduct, people just come to you like a magnet.
Absolutely. And of course, there is the technical part of marketing, which is fundamental for business success, obviously, that I also teach that, because it's important to know your customer, what they need, what they're looking for, and how can you communicate with them in a way that they will resonate with you, with your message, and also they will decide, okay, I want to buy from you because you know exactly how I'm feeling right now, what are my problems, what are my struggles, and then you have a solution for me. It's very simple, actually, but human being overcomplicate in business, all of these a lot.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. So we found our niche. We're about to create our own program. How do we go about structuring that? Because there's so many different things we could do. What would you sort of take your girls through with Academy?
So, for example, the moment they are confident, okay, this is me, this is how I want to show up into the world. Okay, let's rock and roll. I do my content, I show up. Then they start conversation with people to understand what the market needs. And then they combine themselves, what the market needs, which is the confidence now is super higher, because they know that there is people out there ready to buy what they have to offer, or they have, an idea of what they would love to launch or things like that. And then that's when they create the offer creation, which is pretty simple. Like we follow the Ascension model to make sure that the business is scalable. Because otherwise, of course, it depends in which niche you are in. But I feel that this business model works for everybody, because if you work one-to-one, it's not sustainable, for example. You need to make sure that you also have group container if you are a coach. Even if you're selling product, is the same. How can you make so much product by yourself? You can't do that. So maybe you can create courses where you teach people how to create, a coffee cup or your own clothes or whatever it might be. So we make sure that the lady is building something scalable straight away. In this way, they have sustainability and they can always have more clients. Like even if you have 10 clients in 1 week, you can handle them. But if they are one-to-one clients, for example, how can you do that?
Yeah,
it's difficult. So, but if you build a scalable business, it will be sustainable for you long term. And that also will give you enough time to create something new. Because if you have all the ladies, for example, in my case, we have group container, right? I can also work on the side on something else, because I have a call with them every 2 weeks, which is giving me the possibility to also keep going with my marketing, with my sales, and with my next creation, which is give me space in my business as well.
Oh, that's so powerful.
We make sure that they are themselves, so they are happy as well, but also the business is profitable, which is fundamental also. That one.
Yeah, because the idea is to leave your 9 to 5 to have this as your full time.
Exactly right. And with the Ascension model, with the scalability, like if someone listening to this, you can find so many material online, like to learn about what it is. It's very simple. It's very simple to create it. So it's not difficult at all. And you don't need to have thousands of offers when you start. And will be the advice. Don't do too many different things when you start. Just do one and do it well until you're building your confidence. You understand your market. You have client, testimonial, social proof, and then you create the next. And usually it never happens. People start to create too many offers at once.
And then nothing gets created.
Correct, exactly. Like they getting stuck in the loop of creating. And when you start, you have to make sure that you start having your first pay client, like first income, and building social proof, authority and credibility in your industry. And that will give you so much space later on to create whatever you want.
This is so powerful. I love this. This is a lot of takeaways here. Eh? It's exactly that, isn't it? It's like you can get so caught, and this is for me, in certain aspects of like, oh, I'm going to create reels. And for the longest time I was pumping out reels, but it's like, what am I doing here? Because I'm just doing what I'm comfortable with and what I love to do. But the business has so many different elements that you need to do. And I guess it's having a bit of organization, isn't it? And structure with your week and how you're going to do that.
Absolutely. We use like a method at the Academy for everything that we do, which is like our 3S method, which means simple, sassy, and strategic. And we combine those three characteristics. So you need to be simple. Business, it's simple. We overcomplicate this because it's very simple. Sassy, because we want to use our authenticity and make sure that we love what we're doing. And then strategic, like I ask myself, we use a tool, which maybe is something that you can share to people that will listen to this, Priority Metrics, which is a free app that you can use on your desktop, which allow you to see your priorities. So what are the action that if I do them, I will achieve the biggest result in my business this week? And maybe it's finding clients, or maybe it's starting doing your content, whatever it might be, you just focus on that. So I don't have like a huge to-do list. No, I just have 3 things in my calendar for every single week, and I just do them. My list obviously is longer, but I just ignore all the rest if it's not a priority. If it doesn't give me the result, I just postpone that until I have more space and more time to do it, because maybe I have more people helping me out in my business, and then I can do other things. There is so many things that I want to do, but it's not the time now. And that's important in business.
100%. Like you get to a place where you can outsource, but I guess for people who are starting out, then have to do everything, it's important to actually work out what are the things that need to be done, like really.
There is one book that who's starting a business can read, which is my roadmap when I get lost. It's called The One Thing. I don't know if you have heard about it, Mark.
No.
It's called The One Thing, and it's the best book ever that you can read when you start your business, because it really giving you an overview of what you need to focus on and what you just need to forget about it. Like, no now, because it will take you so much energy and time and you will not see result, which is why entrepreneurship often they fail or they give up, because they're doing so many things that doesn't give them result. And then they're thinking, my business doesn't work because I'm not good enough, when they simply prioritize the wrong action. That's all. And I ask myself always this question every single day: what is the one thing that if I do this thing, I will see massive result in my business this week? Answer that and just focus on that. Forget about all the rest completely.
That's powerful. That's like the 80-20 principle, I think.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
20% of work will give you 80% of the results.
Correct. And in that book, it's beautiful because that book also helping you with your personal life. So it's not just about business. You ask the same question. Like, for example, you are a father and you can ask yourself, what is the one thing that if I do that, I will keep taking care of my family this week, and it will make a huge difference in our relationship. And you do the same for every area of your life, including your health, including the way that you eat, or whatever is in your life. You ask the same question, so you keep the balance, and you make sure that you spend time with your family. You do the most important thing for your business, so you see result. You're taking care of yourself, and all the other areas that are important to you, which maybe is different for everybody. It's really important for what I believe, that we keep the balance. That's how we keep the balance.
100%. And I'm seeing that like business, like using business as like a vehicle for your life. And as you're expressing yourself, what I've noticed is the more I express myself on social media, the more I see for myself. I see all the internal, what's going on, the struggles, the resistance, that I can't do this, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, all these sort of thoughts. And then it comes from inside. The more you go inside and then it goes out and you start to see it. And then you're right, there's nothing separate, like the business, the home life, the health, the relationships, there's nothing that's separate. It's all just the one thing. And I feel like business, if you feel like you have a desire to start your own business, it's such a beautiful thing, not just only for, setting up financial freedom for you and the family and things you can do whatever you want, but also for your growth.
Nothing to say. It's like I will have said exactly the same thing. Like, it's your personal growth. Like, it's the best journey that you can do for yourself. Like, I will do this journey all over again.
Yeah.
No doubt, because it gives, like, I am the person that I am today thanks to that, thanks to my business, because even the ladies, they stretch me all the time. And that's beautiful. They do that because I become better. I become a better person, because the more I learn about myself, the more I can teach them and I can help them to go to their next level. Especially if they are my client, I really force myself sometimes to grow, because if I don't, how can I help them to grow?
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I have to grow as well as a human being, and business will really help you to do that.
Yeah. And it's coming back to that feeling of resistance, the same as what you would in the gym. Like, the more resistance you're feeling, the more growth you're getting. And instead of running away from it constantly, we're now moving through it.
Exactly. Don't run away. So when it will be uncomfortable, like the business journey, especially when you start, it's uncomfortable. Like it's incredibly uncomfortable. But to be honest with you, after 4 years, I don't know about you, but I still feel uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So it really, I don't know. I think I'm gonna feel like that forever. There is always
there's new levels of discomfort.
Exactly. Always. Exactly. There is a new level of discomfort, but you become more resilient. Like, the more you are in this journey, the more you can face challenges better, That definitely. Yes.
100%. And then I guess for your experience, Sarah, like, so when you started your own business, like, how long ago was that? And what have you seen the difference from then to now?
So I started 4 years ago, my business, like from scratch. And you mean like the difference in myself, like in the way that I'm dealing with my challenges in my business from 4 years ago to now?
Yep. The difference between that, and also even like on an external, like how your life has shifted and maybe the finances and things like that.
Yeah. Okay. For sure. I am a different person, 100%. Like, I am definitely a total different person from 4 years ago, because 4 years ago I was very negative. Still, I have a lot of pattern to overcome. So today I'm approaching my challenges in business with a laugh. So this already, that I'm dancing a lot. So when a challenges arrive, okay, let's go. Let's get ready for it. I'm trying to approach this with more fun instead of, oh no, another challenge. I just try to put like more fun into that. And also financially, definitely I am full-time now in my business. I have a team and we're growing the academy. So it's definitely changed also financially in my personal life. But what I would say, my business give me the freedom. Like, I want to work today and I want to have a podcast with you. There is no problem. We can do that and I can work after. And this is give me the best feeling of being rich. Like, I am rich, not just because of my bank account, but because I have this freedom to do whatever I want. And this is thanks to my business, for what I have built. Because if I was working for someone else, I will not have that. To have a podcast with you this morning, probably I will have to take a day off or ask permission for it. No, I don't have anybody to ask permission for it. So this gives me the feeling that I am rich, not just financially, but also in my day-to-day life. And yes, that's, I think, why you also should start your business.
100%. 100%. That's true richness. Yeah. Yes. That's true finances of actually time and where you spend your time and not being restricted. That's been the biggest thing for me, Sarah, as well. Of like, through COVID and then coming out, like becoming an awakening coach, that was the first time I really stepped away from the whole 9 to 5. And now, even where I'm in a place now, I'm going to come back into electrical, but I'm going to do it 3 days a week. So I still have that freedom. And I feel that's important if you're starting out, is to have that, money coming in so you can relax around it.
Amazing that you touched that, because when I started my business for the first 2 years, I was still working. So I went full time 1 year ago now. It's 1 year now. So it's been that the first 3 years, I would say 2.5 years, because I started that I was working full time and then building my business. And then I started to work a little bit less and working more on my business. And then I took the leap and okay, that's it. Now we go full time, but it wasn't something that I did straight away. And I don't recommend that actually, but to still have a certain income coming through so you can support yourself and you don't feel the pressure, because that's where the pressure, the stress arrive, because you don't have money. And that's not what we want in business, because we want to make sure that when we are selling to someone, which is people feel it a lot, you don't have that pressure. Like you are relaxed because you know that if the sales doesn't go through, for example, you still have an income coming from your job. So you can keep up. But if you don't have that, you will push people to buy from you because you need money come in. And no, we don't want that, because people will feel it. And also the type of client that you will attract will be not the right client for you anyway, with that energy. So I feel that it's important for an entrepreneur to accept that maybe for the first couple of years, or maybe 1 year, it really depends on the business and on the business. Like there is no limit. I have clients that achieve financial success very fast. So it's possible. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but don't quit your job too soon. Give yourself time to settle in and have a little bit of consistency with your recurring customer, and then you can leave the job. And there is nothing wrong to doing both. Like actually, it's okay to do both. It's totally fine.
Yeah. I love it, because it's a complete identity crash for me. And it's like you can get locked into thinking I am this, like I am an electrician, I'm a husband, I'm a father, or whatever. And you get locked into that. But as soon as you start to break away from that by doing different things, by trying different things, by stepping into the unknown, that's when you really realize that, all these identities that you think you are just like a fabric. They don't exist. They're nothing.
Absolutely agree with all of this. And it's the identity that we put in ourselves. Like, I'm an entrepreneur, I shouldn't work for others. No, it's totally fine. There is nothing to be ashamed of. Like I was super happy that I was still working and I had money coming in. And for all the time that I was free, I was building my business, like the things that I really wanted to do. And my job allowed me to do that. We must be grateful for that. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that.
No, that's right. Hey, even touching on gratitude, Sara, what does gratitude mean for you, and how do you experience that in your life?
Well, that's a great question. I'm still working on that, like still working through this, and it's something that I want to really put more focus on. I'm trying to do it, but it's definitely not consistent. It's something that I'm consistent on, but I see the value on gratitude, like appreciate what you have. And this is something that entrepreneur usually doesn't do it. For example, I notice they always want more. I want more clients. I want more money. I want more. But what about what you already have? I have amazing women in my community, and all the time I try to remember, okay, we want more clients, fine, but the one that we already have, how beautiful they are, how incredible they are.
Yeah.
Let's send a message to them and say, thank you to be part of the academy, or whatever it may be, like be grateful also for what I already have built. It's something that I feel that in an entrepreneurship, it's missing a lot, like not appreciating what we already have done so far. And instead of chasing always the next things, appreciate and express gratitude today for what you already have. Something that I'm working on as well.
Yeah, it's a daily, hey. And I used to have a gratitude journal and write it down every day for a year and things like that. I don't do that now, but I feel like it's something that naturally bubbles up out of you the more present you are as well. It's this feeling. And I think Eckhart Tolle says gratitude is the foundation of abundance.
Yes.
Being grateful, right?
I'm super agree with that.
Yeah. And I can relate, like in my experience, being a coach, there were moments where I would reach out to all the people that I was coaching and actually express gratitude. You'd be surprised what happens. all of a sudden I have people coming in from anywhere saying, oh, can I join the program or things like that, as a byproduct, that it's the intention behind it. Like, I'm not trying to do it to get something. It's like, I'm actually genuinely grateful because I'm doing what I love to do, and I can feel it, and that's what's being felt, that transmission.
I love that. I love that so much. And it's so true. So true. The moment that you express appreciation for what you already have, client, the business, or whatever it may be in your business journey, even how you feel about yourself. I'm not feeling great right now, but it's okay. I express gratitude for that because I know that this will help me to grow to my next step and understanding my next move. Expressing gratitude attract more in your life because you show to the universe that you appreciate what you have already, that you are grateful, so you can have more.
Yeah.
And so important. I love this.
Yeah, it's a beautiful conversation, Sara. Hey?
Wow. Yeah, I think we could keep going forever.
I know. Hey, we probably could. Hey.
But probably this is going to be good for your podcast. That's going to be too long.
Oh no, that's all right. It's okay. Like, whoever, like, the thing is, like, I don't care, like, in terms of how long it is or whatever. It's purely like whoever feels it will listen to it. Hey. And this is something to touch on as well, Sara, for you as well. Like, the beauty of a podcast is you can actually, it's not just one thing, the long form. There's people that would love the long form, but there's also people that would love little bite-sized clips that you can pump out in reels. There's so many ways you can create content. Not just there's one certain way. You can use one thing and use it for many different things.
Totally agree. I love that, like reusing content. And that's something that you touch here, very important for marketing, because the problem in marketing that is we don't repeat enough the message. And we're just talking about, I have been guilty of this as well. And that's something that I learned lately that has shifted as well my conversion. Because if you're repeating the same message all over again, you will see how many more results you're getting online, because people will get used to the message. Okay, she repeated this already multiple times. I get it now. Okay, let me see what she does. Maybe I can buy a program, or maybe I can, I don't know, join her in a webinar or whatever it might be, because you're repeating the same message all over again. We have a particular way at the Academy to do that has been really helpful to be consistent in my marketing message, because that's how you convert more people online, for example, in everything, like in business in general, when we talk about marketing in general.
Yeah, 100%. Because I've seen it in my experience as well. It's like you get in a thought of like, I've already said that. I'm going to say this. I've got to keep it fresh. People want to hear something new, but so many people might not have heard that first message. I know Gary Vee talks about it all the time as well. It's that repetition. Repetition,
repeating yourself. I ask myself every single week, do I feel that I repeated myself in the past 4 weeks? Yes or no? If the answer is no, it means that I am not doing the marketing right. It means I have to sit down again, revisit my content, revisit my messaging, and repeating myself. Because if you don't repeat, you don't create that consistency and the trust to your audience to buy from you. Because I don't trust Nida, who is always changing.
Yes.
Right? It's natural. It's natural. It's something that we can control, right? But if you see someone repeating always the same, you start trusting them.
Yeah. It's like, imagine if Eckhart Tolle starts talking about bodybuilding or something, but what is going on here?
That's exactly why sometimes we have to be careful, especially if you are very passionate, and usually entrepreneurs are people that are very passionate and they are very creative as well. We have to be careful to don't always post whatever we want.
It's a big one for me. I'm a manifestor as well, so it just comes up in the moment.
Totally. We have clients that are manifestors, so totally. No, how are you dealing with all of this? Especially when we say the word consistency, my client manifesto look at me. What? No, I don't know what it is consistency.
Yeah. It's like remember when you asked me, like, how do you sort of create or something like that, or where do you get your inspiration from? I said, literally, I just sit there. I sit there and all of a sudden it comes, because I know you like to go for like walks, like get your body moving and stuff.
Yes, that's how I activate my creativity. That's why I bought my standing desk. So good. I can just move a little bit and maybe some creativity will flow, because yes, for me it works. Like I have to like not opening, for example, Instagram, my creativity is not activated at all if I'm watching other people content, which is why I ask myself, Sara, are you copying someone else? It is this really you? It's authentic to you? Are you speaking with your voice? Like this is truly you or it's not? And in case we're just shifting the messaging and the content, if we have to revisit them, but truly copy and paste. That's what we say at the Academy, copy and paste. So you create your podcast here, for example, copy and paste from this podcast in your story. And just reshare the same message everywhere so people can understand your message more, trust you more, and then that's when the conversion will increase online.
Yeah. I love that. Hey, yeah. So be authentic, be yourself, find yourself, and then share yourself, and not shift it up all the time, because you can't really trust someone who's, and I used to be like that. I'd do 1,000 million things. My energy will be everywhere, until recently I've sort of focused on a few things.
Exactly. Even like the platform, sometimes, clients ask me, Sara, I should be in all platforms. No, actually, I don't recommend that, especially when you are in the beginning, because, content takes time, it does. It's important that you just choose a couple of them, or like you say, you're doing the podcast and then you cut like little pieces everywhere and you reshare them in your Instagram, for example, so you don't have to create anything new. And that's all. It will be enough to have a sustainable business and a consistent income. It will be totally enough.
Yeah. So where do you go, Sara? You go Instagram? Do you go like Facebook as well, or?
So Facebook, it's something that we have because we have the Facebook page, but I don't use it. We use that pretty much for ads and things like that, because you need for advertising Facebook Meta. So we use that for this reason. And then we're focusing on YouTube, which is something that we're starting now, and podcasts. Those are my focus. And then we just repropose the same content coming from my podcast and YouTube in a short version in my Instagram to keep it up with the community. Do
you prefer like long form, like speaking and
I think we noticed that this morning. Probably.
Because we can keep going. I love this. I feel that's cool. I'm the same. Like I have Instagram, but then it automatically posts to Facebook, so I don't have to think about it. And then I actually copy my text and I post it onto like a TikTok and also YouTube Shorts. So there's only really 3. It's really simple.
Beautiful. Exactly. And you don't actually need to be everywhere. Like, when you're growing your business and you have a team, you can do that. Like a team can re-grab all your content and just post them everywhere, right? You can do that. But when you're starting and you are by yourself, this is difficult to keep up, because you have to put attention in your platform. So wherever it's podcasts, wherever it's Instagram, especially Instagram, you really have to talk with people in the ends. You have to be active there if you want to see results on Instagram. So how can you keep up with 5 different platforms? It's not sustainable, and it's not actually even going to give you the result. So we have all our leads coming from podcasts and Instagram. So why do I need to change that? Let's just keep doing that. And then we can add another extra platform slowly, one step at a time, and just be everywhere in the future. Absolutely, we will do that, but one step at a time.
I love that. Yeah. How do you sort of navigate like Instagram and your attention? Because you said it, like attention, where attention goes, energy flows. And for me, that's a distraction in a way of like, I can get caught scrolling and comparing and things like that, even subconsciously. And then I start like, it's all like what we do as humans, we naturally like imitate. So what about for you, Sara? Like, what are some ways that you sort of work through that?
So for me, something that I need to do, like I do for myself, or otherwise I get catch up as well in the scrolling, I get distracted. So I have 2 phones, for example, one personal, one business. And in the personal one, there is no Instagram, Facebook, emails, nothing. And the one that I have for my business, I just put a timer. So for example, I'm going in Instagram every single day to do lead generation, to connect with people, to build a relationship, right? And that's something in my business that I personally do, because I feel that, I don't know, who is the best person to connect with my possible ideal client? Me. I don't see anybody else able to do this work instead of me. And I just put a timer, like half an hour, 45 minutes, whatever I feel is right, based on also where we are in business. Right now we launching and we are selling. So that's where I put all my attention in the majority of the day. So, but I put a timer on my phone. And when the timer ringing, out of Instagram.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
And let's do something else now.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you realize, like you say, that 2 hours are gone and you don't even know what have you done. Like it's 2 hours, but what actually I have done for the past 2 hours. So like you say, be intentional, be present. I'm present on Instagram to do what? Posting my content, posting my story, or connecting with people. Connecting with people. Okay, let's just do that. Which means not scrolling other people's stuff. Just connect with my people for half an hour and then out and do something else. That's what helped me a lot.
And it feels so much better. It makes you feel so much better. I feel so frustrated when I'm scrolling and stuff, but if it's half an hour, you're boom, done. You just feel, oh, you've actually achieved something in a way.
Exactly. And you have to be intentional, like really like using a timer and having maybe a different phone. And like in the night, for example, I just put this away. It's the only way. I just put this away, keep this in my office. I close the door of my office, and I cannot tell you how powerful this is. The moment that you close the door, your business is done for the day.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh, that's huge, especially like working from home, creating that separation between you and the business.
Exactly. Because if you keep the door open, I can guarantee you that you will come back in the office. You maybe re-grab your laptop, you maybe re-grab your phone again, you scroll again. But if you close everything and just give it time, at 6 p.m., I am done for the day, for example. Everybody's different. But when you do that, close the door, no more business for today.
That's
not easy.
Huge.
It's not easy. It is not easy.
Yeah. But it's a daily practice, isn't it?
Yes.
And we're forming these habits. We're reforming these habits.
Yes, because depends on which work you do. But if you are a coach, it's necessary that you recharge.
Yeah.
Because how can you support your customer and coaching them if you haven't recharged and you are drained and tired and exhausted? Because coaching people require energy, like a lot of it. And probably you know that as well, because you are a coach. It requires a lot of energy. So it's important that we have also space to recharge and to stay with families and do other things that are not connected with business, like exploring new hobbies that are not business related. Otherwise, we just think about business all the time.
Yeah. Oh, this is powerful. Well, that's actually a great segue into like, what are some things that you love to do that give you joy and gives you energy?
So for example, I love really running. It's something that really helped me so much with my stress and all of this. But the problem of running is that I'm thinking and ideas come true because I move my body. So my creativity so running is something that I remove it from the list. So I cook, for example, I'm baking. Baking, it's something that gives me joy and also distract me. I don't know how is that possible, but it's really therapeutic because it's the only things that I do that completely, I don't think about my business. Completely. So I try to bake at least once a week and have that type of routine where I put some music on, I choose the cake, like taking really a lot of time to decide that and spending as much time as possible on doing that. So I'm not working, I'm not thinking about my business, but I do something else. So that works really well. And spending time in nature is also helping a lot to detach and not thinking about my business. And then I'm exploring new hobbies because my list is finished. So I'm exploring new hobbies and new activity to do to don't think about my business. But those two for sure are helping a lot. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. Nature. And interesting. I was chatting to a guy yesterday, a friend of mine, Josh Stiles from New Zealand, and he's like a nutritionist. And we're talking about like having a sign inside your fridge or inside your cupboard that says, "Are you hungry? If not, go for a walk." So I want to put that on mine. Yeah. Because
I love that. And especially, I love astrology as well. Like it's something that really passionates me and it can really like bring me in another dimension and exploring the planet and all of those things. Really, exciting, but there is a problem with that is getting very popular now with human design, that you can also learn about astrology and business. So astrology doesn't work anymore, neither. I got to remove that as well and find another activity.
It sort of can become a distraction, hey, like these things that you can then you can rely on them, like, oh yeah, the full moon. But I will say the full moon does make me wake up at early hours in the morning. So there is something going on with that. But I was just chatting to my mate Matt Gamble about it this morning. We're talking because he has the same thing, and we're saying like we won't become experts, but we'll just appreciate the moon and just love it for what it is. So I like that. I like being in that space.
Absolutely. And when you are an entrepreneur, also, it's okay to be passionate about what you do and be obsessed. It's okay. Like it's normal. It's part of the journey. You have maybe a phase where the only thing that you can think about is business, especially when you're starting. And I would say also to don't put too much pressure on yourself and listen to you. You know what to do. You know when it's too much. Because your body will telling you, maybe you don't sleep well, maybe you are not eating well, or whatever it might be. Your body will telling you when is the time to stop a little bit and just recharge. Trust your body. Your body knows.
100%. My Janina tells me too, if my body's not listening.
She say that?
Yeah, Janina will tell me, you got to get off that phone or something.
Yes.
It's good to have those people around you,
Exactly. Or having people around you that supporting with that and say, I'm working too much. Can you please keep me accountable and maybe, remind me to sit down at the table with no phone, with nothing, and have a meal together. Things like that. Because it's difficult. I get it. When you're passionate about what you do, obviously you enjoy it, because I enjoy it. Like I really love working on my business. It's something that, it's not a sacrifice. I really love it. Study, learning. So sometimes it's difficult to put myself away from that because I'm passionate about it. I feel like I'm not working. So that can be dangerous.
To feel that, to see that. And I feel like it's like the inner purpose and the outer purpose too. So like our inner purpose is to find ourselves, and it's through moving through the outer purpose, but not to become too attached in the outer purpose. And just enjoy it.
And resting, it's important as well. Like I'm a big fan of it, and I force myself sometimes to rest. I'm not working, and just remember that if I'm resting, I am better next week. Like I have more energy, I have more clarity, and things going better if I do rest and regulate your nervous system and training yourself to rest, because some people are struggling with this a lot.
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. There's a lot of things you need to look at. You need to look after yourself first. And I think you touched on it as well. You did, of like, how can you share with other people? Like if I'm a coaching, how can I actually be a coach for them if I'm not looking after myself first, if my cup is not overflowing?
It's very a problem, like for coaches especially, but I feel for every entrepreneur, because all the entrepreneur have a job to accomplish, whatever it's coaching clients, whatever it is, I don't know, doing a massage for them, or leading a team. Even if you're leading a team or whatever you're doing, you need to have energy and clarity. So the more you rest, the more you can really serve them. For example, in the academy, the ladies knows that I'm not in the community certain days. So there is only few days that I am there and I'm coaching them, I'm answering to question and whatever it may be. And there is other days that I'm not there. And it's important to set those boundaries so you can use the other time that you have for resting or study or doing sales. Because, when you mix it up, like you coaching client, you try to sell, you do your marketing, it's too much stuff in one day. So it's good to have a little bit of routine. Today is my coaching day, so the only focus is my client. And tomorrow it's my sales day, so the only focus would be building relationship and book sales call or whatever it may be, and then marketing and all of these involved. So like having a routine and an energy, a day where you're just focusing on that. So the energy, you keep that energy going, flowing during that day, which is I found really important as well.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Hey, yeah. So a bit of structure, separating the different, because we're all putting on different hats for these different roles. So so separating that, and then that way your intention is pure with that one thing and you're going all in with it, I feel.
Yes.
It's beautiful, Sarah. It's been a really lovely chat. I've really enjoyed it. Hey.
Yes, I do. I did as well. Thank you so much for inviting me and had this beautiful question, very powerful and important to ask, so people can reflect a little bit and find some inspiration to start their own business.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Sara. And we'll just close with, like, I guess, hearing about your female academy. Like, how could people reach out to you? Where can they find you? And a little bit about what's happening right now for you.
So right now we have so many different options. So if you are starting your business, you can reach out to me on Instagram. We can book a call. We can talk together based on where are you at. So because we have different courses, different program, and all of them have a particular structure and outcome. And based on where you are in your business, you can join one of them. So we have the one for, we actually, this is funny that you asked me that, because we're launching the waiting list for one of our programs, which is for who is starting their business and they are in the beginning. So that container is perfect for who is starting out. And you can reach out to me on Instagram and then we can have a chat with no problem and pressure at all.
Beautiful, Sara. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Like,
Thank you.
I reached out to you because I feel that you're just speaking your truth, you know, and that's the people that I resonate with. That's why this podcast is called Mack Being Me. And, you know, that's the reason why we're having this conversation, because you're a beautiful, expressive energy of truth, and no doubt creating a beautiful community and such incredible energy for your girls. So very happy to connect with you, Sara. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Pleasure. Bye-bye.